Hi everyone, Ali here again. So, is it time to buy or did we miss the opportunity? So, that's the question. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys, which I've done in previous videos, I apologize, that the reason why I started doing all of these is first of all to help myself think critically, and then secondly, hopefully, the way I'm thinking, you guys are going to start thinking critically for yourselves, and hopefully these videos help you and then you build on this. By no means I'm trying to tell anyone buy, sell, or hold in these videos. So first of all, I am a long-term investor. My company prohibits me for trading actively. If I buy a position, I have to hold it for 30 days, even if I'm losing money. So I have to abide by a lot of strict regulations, and therefore I just invest in ETFs and I keep a long-term view because that's all I can do. So and I think that's not a bad strategy. People have been rewarded immensely keeping a long-term view, and you can see from these charts that even with these dips, people have been rewarded. And you can see that back in 2008 or 2009, early 2009, Nasdaq was at 1,000 points, and right before we started dropping, we were close to 10,000 points. So in the past uh, 11, 12 years alone, NASDAQ went up almost 1,000%. So now the question to yourself is, did you outperform that? And I remember from my investment analysis class that I took 20 years ago, and my professor said, on a long-term basis, people cannot outperform the market. And, being young, I took on that challenge. And 20 years later, first of all, I didn't actively manage my portfolio either. But I think if you're not going to actively manage your portfolio, or you're going to actively manage your portfolio on an annual basis, you need to think, are you outperforming the market? Whether you outperformed in that year or on a long-term basis ever since you opened an account. S&P 500, same story. I just wanted to point out 47% drop in during the dot-com bubble, and then 56% drop during the financial crisis, and then we started building this 12-year trend line. How remarkable this recovery has been in the past 3 days that we are above this 12-year trend line. Is this it? Was this the bottom? I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball. I wouldn't be making these videos over here. So again, can you outperform the market? Past year 2019, great year, right? Nasdaq close to 39% return, S&P 500 31% return, Dow Jones 25% returns. So the question to you is, did you outperform the market just in 2019? If you have a portion of your money in long-term versus active trading, analyze your active trading versus long-term. Did your active trading outperform your long-term portfolio? And then long-term individually, did it outperform any of these indices, or collectively your portfolio outperform any of these indices? And if not, then you need to reassess, go back to the drawing board and see what you're doing wrong. So just wanted to share that. I have this screen built on Yahoo Finance, and you can set up a portfolio view on Yahoo Finance. I don't own any of these, or not all of them, but this is just for me to track the overall market. This screen, and I want you to see that in the past 3 days we had such a remarkable recovery. These things over here, they indicate where we are and where the low was. And even with this recovery, in uh, most of these indices, or sector ETFs, we are 20% or plus off from our recent highs. So maybe a month ago, if I told you, would you like to buy Nasdaq or S&P 500 20% from its highs, you would have said yeah. So if you're trying to thread the needle, it won't be rewarding. So my strategy personally, Buy the dips, keep a long-term view, and that's it. So buying the dips. How often do we get these opportunities? We get on an annual basis 3 times a year, and this is I got it from an article, and this is the source where the article got it from. So we get 3 times a year a 5% dip. Every 16 month we get within 16 months we get a 10% dip, and every 7 years we get a 20% dip. So with a turnaround in a lot of stocks, you might have seen a 40% dip from its most recent highs. And if I were to just go back and show you over here, this is the dot-com bubble and this is the financial crisis. Do you even, and this is a monthly chart, do you see any candle that is this long even with this wick? No. I mean, it's all becoming relentless, right? We're getting these sharp sell-offs and sharp recoveries. There's just too much triple leveraged ETFs out there. But be careful with those triple leveraged ETFs. I just want to point out that let's say S&P 500 trading at 100, and you have a triple leveraged S&P 500 ETF trading at 100. If S&P 500 drops 10%, the triple leverage ETF is going to drop 30%. So S&P 500 is going to be at 90, triple leveraged ETF is going to be at 70. So now if S&P 500 recovers and goes back to 100 with a 10% move, you break even. But now the market needs to go up 30% for the triple leveraged ETF to come back and make up for the loss. So these triple leverage ETFs can be pretty detrimental if you don't know what you're doing. So just keep that in mind. Now, I just took this screenshot from CNBC Twitter. Bernanke yesterday came out and said he's seeing a very sharp recession. And then the next 2 quarters, he says you're going to see really scary numbers. So I don't know if we've seen the bottom, and as and when these numbers are coming out, we saw that today a really horrific jobs number came out, and the market didn't care. The market rallied so much. Maybe the 3.2 million job losses was already baked in. So what am I looking for? Here's NASDAQ, touch the 20-day today. I'm looking for a confirmation. I am looking for a higher low. I guess now that we are past what Fed was going to do and what the government is going to do, tomorrow or next week, we're going to be in a situation when market is going to return to reality and see, okay, how is the job loss number? How is it impacting the main street? Is it going to trickle into losing houses? We don't know how bad it's going to be. So if you're buying the dips person, keep adding slowly. I for one don't know where the bottom is going to be. So this is S&P 500, same story, and I wish you guys all the best and happy trading. Thanks. Bye.